In the previous episode, we explored how FireStar observes the environment. It continuously records temperature and smoke concentration, and when defined conditions occur, it captures visual snapshot of the space. Together, these elements create a timeline of environmental change, but observation alone is not enough. Because if the information disappears during the incident, the timeline disappears with it. So the next challenge becomes preservation. How do you ensure that the environmental record survives the very event it is documenting? This episode focuses on how FireStar stores and protects that information. Section 1. Continuous environmental recording. FireStar continuously records two environmental indicators, temperature and smoke concentration. These measurements are captured approximately every half second. This interval allows the system to track rapid environmental changes while still maintaining stable operation. Each measurement is stored together with a timestamp. Over time, these readings from a chronological sequence showing how environmental conditions evolved. Instead of knowing when an alarm occurred, the system preserves what happened before the alarm. Did temperature begin rising slowly? Did smoke appear suddenly? Did both variables escalate together? This question can only be answered when the progression is preserved. Without continuous reading, the early stages of fire disappear from the record. Section 2. Event-triggered image capture. In addition to sensor data, FireStar records visual documentation. Images are captured when both environmental thresholds are reached, when temperature and smoke concentration rise together to levels associated with a developing fire event. Once this condition occurs, the system begins recording photographs at a rate of approximately 1 image per second. The camera is mounted above the monitored area, looking downward into the room. From this position, the system can observe most of the environment, including furniture, surface, and the development of smoke or flame. These images are stored alongside the sensor data. Each photograph corresponds to the exact moment when temperature and smoke readings were recorded. This synchronization allows the environmental data and the visual sense to be examined together. Section 3. Creating a fire timeline. When temperature data, smoke data, and the visual documentation are aligned in time, they form something much more useful than individual measurements. They form a timeline. Instead of isolated readings, the system preserves a sequence of events. To understand why this matters, imagine reviewing a fire event without this information. Investigators may know that a fire occurred. They may know where damage is concentrated, but the exact order of environmental change is often uncertain. Did the temperature begin rising first, or smoke appear before the temperature increased? Did the fire develop slowly over several minutes, or did conditions accelerate repeatedly within seconds? Without the recorded data, these questions are difficult to answer with confidence. Now imagine reviewing the same event with a preserved timeline. The environmental record may show something like this. At the beginning of the sequence, temperature reading remains stable. Then, over the next several seconds, a gradual temperature increase begins. Shortly afterward, smoke concentration readings begin to rise. At the moment, the image capture system activates, recording the visual state of the room. The photographs may show the first appearance of light smoke near the sagging, or haze beginning to form above a surface. As the timeline continues, both temperature and the smoke readings increase, while the captured image shows smoke density becoming more visible. Finally, the alarm threshold is reached. Instead of single alarm moment, the system preserves the entire progression leading to that moment. This sequence can revolve how quickly condition reached, when the earliest visible smoke appeared, and whether the environment had the warning signs before the emergency become obvious. Section 4. Maintaining the record during power loss. Fire environments are unpredictable. Electronic systems may fail. Circuits may be damaged. External power may be interrupted during the incident. FireStar normally operates using external power. However, the system also includes an internal backup battery. If external power is lost, the device can continue operating for a limited period of time. This allows FireStar to continue recording during the critical early stages of the event, when environmental conditions may still be evolving. During this period, the system continues writing data to storage, including sensor readings and captured images. Even if the backup power eventually runs out, all information writing before that moment remains preserved. This ensures that a sudden loss of power does not immediately erase the environmental timeline. Instead, the system maintains the record for as long as possible during this event. Section 5. Accessing the record. After an event, the stored information can be accessed by connecting directly to the FireStar storage drive. Investigators or users can retrieve the data from the device and review the recorded timeline. This includes temperature readings over time, smoke concentration changes, and the sequence of captured images. When examined together, these elements reconstruct the development of the incident. Instead of relying entirely on physical damage patterns, the system provides a preserved environmental record. Section 6. From observation to evidence. With sensing and storage combined, FireStar completes its core purpose. It does not attempt to predict fires. It does not replace traditional alarms. Instead, it preserves what most fire systems lost: the environmental history leading up to the emergency. Temperature progression, smoke exhalation, visual condition during the event. These elements form a documented timeline that can be reviewed after the incident, not as speculation, but as recorded evidence. At this point, FireStar's core recording system becomes clear. It observes environmental change, it captures image when critical conditions appear, and it preserves that information. Instead of fire-resistant storage system, but one question still remains: how does the device itself survive the harsh conditions created by fire? In the next episode, we will examine the physical design of FireStar, including its protective structure, its durability, and how it is built to endure the environmental it records. Thank you for watching episode 5 of FireStar Insight. I'll see you in episode 6.